Hi everybody and welcome to David's Garage. Today I'm going to be doing a quick unboxing for a pair of boots that I just got, and not for myself actually. I purchased these as a gift for my wife. These are the Colt boot from Urban Wolf Club Company, and this is in their Amber Roughout leather. So I'm actually really excited to check them out. So here we go. So you can see they just come wrapped in plastic. You can see the boots, they come with these leather laces. Looks like they only sent one pair of laces. I know that on my other Wolf Club boots, they usually send a pair of leather laces and a pair of cotton laces, but it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really use their laces. Alrighty, so here they are. Again, these are the Colt boot from Urban Wolf Club Company, and this leather is actually a new offering. I think they started offering this leather in, I believe, the summer of 2025, called Amber. They call it a full grain aniline leather. I asked them to do the rough out, and this is the rough out of that leather. Again, I got these boots as a gift for my wife. So if you guys aren't familiar with Urban Wolf Club Company, they're actually a small manufacturer that's based out of Leon, Mexico. And you can order through their website, and you can actually message them through WhatsApp, or you can message them on Instagram, and you can ask them to make some changes to their builds. And they actually make those changes at usually no additional cost, so that's actually really nice. So one of the changes that I asked them to make on this pair was, obviously I asked them to do a rough out version of the amber leather. I asked them to make the tongue a gusseted tongue, so you can see it's partially gusseted up until the 5th eyelet. And then I asked them to please do no lining, so you can see there's no lining on the inside, but they did line, I can see that they did line the vamp, so that was really nice of them to keep the toe vamp lining on there, so that was awesome. I really like that. I also asked them to do a natural stain on the welt. So this leather, there's really not much information on it. Again, they just started offering this leather in the summer of 2025, I believe, and they just call it amber, and they call it a aniline leather that's approximately 2.2 millimeters thick. So you can see the leather is just over 2.2 millimeters thick. Perfect, exactly what they say on their website. The leather, it definitely feels very soft and malleable. It doesn't feel stiff at all. It definitely feels very soft and malleable. So my guess would be that this is a chrome tan leather. Urban Wolf Club, they don't state where they get their leathers from. I actually chose this leather because I like the lighter leathers, but obviously I think the smooth side, you can see it right there, it's a little oranges, a little light, little tan, a little bit too light. And so, but I thought maybe this would make a really cool rough out. And so I'm really happy with the way these turned out. I think these actually look really nice. So this boot, again, it's called their Colt boot. They do offer a Colt 45 model, which just has a cap toe. From my understanding, Urban Wolf Club, they don't do a true cap toe, but I think you could ask them to actually do a true cap toe if you wanted them to. Build or this shape of this boot, the Colt, compared to like their other boots, they have a few different models. One of the other most popular ones is the Axeman boot. Looks very similar to like a Munson style or like an Iron Ranger style last. Has a larger toe box, almost like a bump toe. This you can see is definitely a sleeker, more dressier, a little bit pointier toe box. All right, so let's go over the construction. So these are Goodyear welted boots. You can see this is a 360-degree Goodyear welted boot. It goes all the way around the boot. And it's a flat welt, which I like. I prefer flat welts. I just like it. I think it looks simple, looks clean. So I think they did a great job. I think the construction on all of my Urban Wolf Club boots, it's all outstanding, especially for the price. Yeah, you can see they did a really clean job with this welt. You can see right there, there's the joint. It looks very clean. You can see they kind of got a little messy there with the stitching when they were finishing up probably, but the welt joint overall, I mean, I've seen boots that cost 2 or 3 times as much, and the welt looks just the same. So Urban Wolf Club does a great job. Here's the other boot. There's the welt, looks very clean, very simple. Again, it's not gonna rival a Viberg, but I mean, for this price, I mean, you really can't beat Urban Wolf Club. Again, right there, finishing on this, you can see the threading right there got a little wonky, but still overall, welt joint looks great. Stitching overall, I think looks really good. So let's go over the sole. So you can see that this is the sole that they use on, I believe, all their boots, but it's just a mini lug. Looks very similar to the Vibram 430 mini lug sole. You can see it's very low profile. It's just a standard generic heel cap. This rubber is actually pretty soft, so it probably will wear a little bit faster than usual, but you know, from my experience, this sole that Urban Wolf Club uses, I think it lasts very, very, very well. So it definitely is very durable, at least in my experience using these. So I really like this sole. See how it looks nice and sleek, but still gives you that lug grippiness. So I really do like it, especially because it's softer. It's not gonna be as hard and slippery in the winter compared to like the Vibram 430, which is a very hard compound. So in the winter, it can be very, very, very slippery and almost be like ice skates, but this is definitely a softer compound compared to that. Also, let's see, there's a heel stack, leather midsole. They do have a steel shank just to give support under the arch. And then they do have a veg tan heel counter, and looks like these toes are unstructured, so that's nice. And then, like I said, you can see the tongue is gusseted. I asked them to gusset this tongue. Otherwise, I believe their boots come standard with no gusset. But I asked them to gusset this tongue, and it's gusseted up to the 5th eyelet. And you can see I specifically asked them not to do any lining on this boot. So you can see there's none of that glove leather lining. I do not like glove leather lining. I just don't like the feel of it. I don't like the look of it. Just my preference. It's just like, give me the leather and that's it. You know, you can line the toe box, that's perfectly fine, but I think just throwing on just a really cheap, thin glove leather just to add to the thickness on the body of the leather, I don't like that. So that's why I always prefer to have the quarters and the heel just unlined. And so I'm really happy that they did that. I just asked them, hey, no lining in this boot, please. And you can see, that is the internal heel counter cover. This is the counter cover, and this is the back stay. So it's a 2-piece back stay. I think it looks really good. Hardware is actually pretty decent quality. Definitely isn't like the most durable, but I think compared to like Red Wings speed hooks, it's probably a little bit less durable than the Red Wing heritage hardware that Red Wing uses. I think these do feel a little bit less sturdy and durable than those. One thing I do notice is, looks like there's some pretty sharp metal here. There's some pretty sharp metal there. Looks like when they were clamping down these eyelets, maybe like this metal just got like splintered, but there's like really sharp barbs poking out from the eyelet over there. And then on this boot, yeah, looks, you got them right there too on this eyelet. So just be careful. It does feel very sharp. I could easily cut my finger on that, so that's not great. Okay, so let's measure this from the very top of the welt to the very bottom of the heel. Let's see, this is, looks like almost 1.25 inches, so just under that. And then from the bottom of the outsole to the very bottom of the heel, looks like it is 3/4 inch exactly. So now if we measure from the very top of the boot to the very bottom of the heel, 6 3/4 inch. So it looks like it's just over 6 3/4 inch. And then if we measure from the inside of the boot, so we measure from the inside of the boot, this boot is, exactly 5 inches tall. Also, I forgot to mention, their footbed is a full veg tan leather footbed, but they do put a removable sock liner that is it's a piece of foam with some smooth leather topping, some glove leather topping, probably the same leather that they use for the lining, but you can see it's just a small piece of foam that they cut. So if they're a little tight, you can always remove this removable insole or sock liner. There's the veg tan insole, some nails around the heel, and then that footbed, that veg tan footbed, is actually stitched into the boot, so really nice. It's very well constructed. If you guys haven't seen Yushu's video where he takes his Colt boot apart, it's a really good video. You should definitely go and check it out. But he goes over and shows you everything that goes into this boot, and it's actually really well made with some pretty good quality materials. So yeah, check it out. So what are my initial impressions on the build quality and the finishing? Well, I think that for the price, I mean, the overall build quality is actually really great. I've beaten my boots up, my Axeman boots up. I've taken them to work. I haven't taken them easy. Now, I don't work construction, and I wouldn't say, hey, you can go fight fires in these boots, but the build quality is good. And the materials that they use are good quality materials. The leather, you're not gonna get any super expensive veg tanner suedes, but these are durable chrome tan leathers. And I like the Roughout just because, you're not going to see all the wrinkling and the creasing versus like if you had the smooth side on the outside, and just gives it a nice clean look to it. Finishing is not going to be the best, but I mean, for the price, it's still a phenomenal value. I mean, I think this welt, the stitching, yeah, maybe the pressing of this hardware is not great because you got a few sharp edges, so you got to be careful. But overall, I would say the finishing is, for the price, I think they're really great. I think they're the finishing, you just can't beat it for the price, the value for the price, the build quality for the price. I really like Urban Wolf Club boots. I think if you're, on the fence of like getting like heritage boots, definitely they're an option to consider, them and Jim Green. Yeah, I think, another downside to Urban Wolf Club is that their lead times, I think, are now like between like 2 to 4 months. So they're changing and fluctuating as they get busier and busier. But I mean, where else can you order a custom boot with no additional charges with free shipping? At least free shipping to the United States, which is where I'm located. So I think it's if you live in North America, I think it's a phenomenal deal. So yeah, that's everything I have for you guys today. I'm not gonna try these on because, again, I ordered these for my wife. I ordered these in the same size as her Thursday boots, so she wears a men's size 7. So I got these in a size 7 and they fit her perfectly. So that's everything I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any Urban Wolf Club boots on order, what you guys are ordering. Let me know what customizations you did to your boots. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video.